Nidhi Sonkar, Assistant Professor, Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, Language University, Department of Applied Sciences and Humanities, Faculty of Engineering and Technology. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the remaining portion of our previous topic, that is barriers to the communication, and a new topic which is how to overcome the barriers. Okay, so coming to barriers to the communication, the next barrier which we are going to discuss today is technological barriers. Technology. Talking about technology, technology has helped a lot in easing the process of communication. Technology has made the communication faster, easier, and more cost efficient, time efficient, and energy efficient. Why? Because earlier when we used to have to send a letter to a person, we used to go to post office, then write a letter, then send it to, and it will be reaching to the recipient after 2-3 days. But with the help of technology, we can by a single click, we can just send a email within a nanosecond. So technology has helped a lot in the process of communication, but using the technology in improper way can even hamper the communication. Why? Because it can even create a hurdle in communication. If we won't use the technology properly, if we are using outdated technology or obsolete technology, or both the receiver and the senders are not using the same kind of technology, that can even create a hurdle during the process of communication. Okay, now the second one is physiological barrier. Physiological barrier is something which is due to the physical state of the sender or either recipient. If both the parties are not mentally fit, their physical state, their mental state is not in a proper condition, so whatever the message getting conveyed to them, they won't take it in a proper way. For example, if either a sender or either a recipient is having any kind of disability like poor vision, they won't be able to see whatever the things are getting displayed in front of them, so they won't be able to take that. If they are having ill health, if they are not physically fit, they are not mentally fit, so whatever the things coming to them, they won't be able to retain those things. Then hearing disability, very big distortions during the process of communication. Speech disorder, if I am not able to speak out properly, then the recipient will not be able to retain the message which I am conveying properly. Then poor memory, if they are having poor memory, if they can't retain, they can't recognize whatever the things have been conveyed to them, then it will be create a barrier to them. So this was all about communication barrier. Now we are moving to the new topic, which is measures how to overcome the communication barrier. Barriers are something which is not in our control, but there are some things if we will follow during the process of communication, then we will be able to overcome those barriers. So the first thing which we can do to overcome the barrier is clarify ideas before communication. The sender should be so clear that what they want to send, they have to be very clear in their mind that what are the objective for communication. If they won't be clear that what they want to convey to the recipient, then it will be creating ambiguity in their mind. So one should always be clear that what are the messages, what are the things, what are their objective which they are going to convey to the audience or to the recipient. Then using simple language. Exactly. Why I am saying this use of simple language? Because whatever we are communicating, it should always be recipient friendly, not senders friendly, because our recipients are going to somehow retain those things. They are going to decode the message which we are encoding. If we are going to encode the message in our technical languages, using technical words, using jargons, using slangs, using euphemisms, or using any other technical things, then it won't be possible for sender to retain all the message, possible for receiver to retain all the message properly. Then ensure proper feedback. Very nice. Why proper feedback? Because feedback is for something which we use to test that whatever the things the sender has conveyed to the receiver, are they getting the same thing in a same sense? Because it is very important for us to understand that receiver is getting the thing, because we are giving the messages, but if receiver is not able to retain all those message, then the whole process of communication will be distorted. So it is very important to get the feedback from the receiver that are they getting the message properly. Okay, now next is listen carefully. Listening, everyone is concerned about speaking. Are they speaking nicely? Are they speaking perfectly? But no one actually bothers about listening. Why? Because first of all, hearing is a passive process, but listening is an active and intellectual process. If we are listening properly to the sender, then we will be able to judge the things, we will be able to recognize the things that what sender wants to send. And if we will getting all the messages in a proper term, then it will be very beneficial for us to work upon that the whole message which has been given by the sender. So listening carefully is also very important. While the time when sender is speaking something, then it is very important to keep quiet, properly see over the sender that what he is saying, maintain discipline, because then only we will be able to get the things which has been given to us. Okay, so this was listening. Then emotions, very big hurdle. Why? Because many of the time we are so excitement, we are so in an excited stage. Some of the time we are in very anger stage. At some times we are very emotional, very sad. So conversations made during these kind of situations can even cause a hurdle. So it is always suggested that avoid your conversations, avoid your communication when at the time you are very emotionally low or emotionally high, because the commitments made during those times are never be the one which can be followed whole of your life or further. Okay, now consistency of the message. Consistency of the message means if we are communicating to our recipient for longer duration or for so many times, then the message which we have conveyed earlier will always be having some kind of link with the next message. If the messages, both the messages which sender are sending are contradicting between each other, then it won't be possible for the recipient to retain all the message in the same sense. It will create an ambiguity in the mind of the receiver. So always be consistent, means the continuity will always be in a pace for recipient. Second up is follow-up communication. Follow-up communication is the end and the most successful way to overcome the communication barrier. It is the thing which can be implemented at the larger level of an organization. Why? Because the management should always take time to time responses from their employees, from their staff, that the communication channel which they are following in their organization is proper or not. If it is won't be proper, then the message conveyed by lower level management won't be beneficial for the higher level management. So this was all the ways for communication, measures to overcome the communication. That's it for today's video. We will be meeting for our next video. Till then, thank you. Take care.